Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So on today's video, we're going to talk about the best pods for iced lattes. And I'm going to talk about lattes. If you want more of like an iced coffee, maybe thumbs up this video and I'll do something for iced coffee. But this is strictly lattes. So what a latte is pretty much 1 or 2 shots of espresso. Usually I like 2 shots of espresso in my lattes, and so I end up putting about 8 ounces of whatever milk, usually oat milk or almond milk, but that is pretty much what a latte is. So we're gonna talk about the best pods for a latte of that nature. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, I have 2 light tasting pods. If you don't like light tasting pods or a light tasting latte, maybe you won't like these, but I only have 2. And the first one is actually made for ice. So this one is Ice Leggero. It's a very light tasting pod. I'm looking at my notes right here. On the website, they actually describe it as a pod for mild recipes with milk. Its aromatic notes are toasted cereal and it's fruity. This one, I feel like it lends itself really nicely to a lot of syrups. So I've tried it with the pistachio syrup from Torani. I've tried it with caramel, hazelnut. I've tried it with a lot of syrups and I haven't really found one that I think doesn't mesh well with this pod. But again, if you don't like a light roast, then you might not like this one. If you do so happen to have the original line, so like a machine like the Mini Essenza or the Essenza Plus, or any machine, it doesn't matter. But if you have the original line, then you might like Freddo Intenso. The only thing with this is that you're gonna have to use 2 pods to make it a double espresso pod like the Vertuo line. But this one is more of like a medium roast, so you're gonna get more of like that coffee taste with these. And I personally prefer these over Bianco, or what is this called? Ice Leggero. But yeah, that's your other option if you just want a little bit, something a little bit stronger, because within the Vertuo line, the stronger ice pod is actually a coffee size pod. So that's gonna be more of like an iced coffee, not necessarily an iced latte. Hopefully that makes sense. If you do have the original line and still are interested in something similar to Ice Leggero, then you're gonna look for Freddo Delicado, and that one is the equivalent to this one. So even if you don't have the Vertuo line, you can always just get Freddo Delicado from their original line and then just use 2 pods of those to make it a double espresso, and then your 8 ounces of like your choice of milk. Another light tasting pod is Bianco Leggero. This one is actually really good over ice as well. All the rest of the pods that I'm going to talk about, they're not made for ice like the other one is. I don't know the science behind it. I think the Ice Leggero and all of these ice pods, they're made to not lose their flavor over ice, because obviously the ice kind of waters down the flavor. But I haven't found that the pods that I'm going to talk about, I feel like those still keep their flavor even if they're cold over ice, like, or brewed over ice. I feel like I'm going on a tangent, but I don't know the science behind it. I just know it does taste nice. It's a nice light roast pod over ice. But again, I don't know the difference. So Bianco Leggero is another light tasting pod. This one, the way the website describes it as, is light roast. Aromatic profile is made for sweet recipes with milk. And the aromatic notes are sweet biscuits. And it's a $10 sleeve. So that's what it's going to cost you to buy 1 box. Ice Leggero is also $10. Freddo Delicado with original line is $7. So they're a little bit cheaper, but you find yourself using 2 instead of 1. So there's like the difference. This one, again, same thing with Ice Leggero. I like pairing this one with caramel, hazelnut. I don't think I've tried it with like the chocolate-based syrups or anything like that. But this one is really, really like smooth and creamy. Again, if you like more of like a medium to stronger roast, you might not like this one. But I do have a few more options for you guys in the medium roast realm. But these are nice for a light tasting coffee, either in the morning or in the evening. It's just really nice and creamy. I know this one is out of stock. I don't know what they're doing at Nespresso. It's like, it's coming back for some, and then for some it's still out of stock. I don't know what it is, but they said it should be back this week, if not next week. I don't know, but it's a good one. Once it comes back, don't go crazy in buying a whole bunch of sleeves because you might not like it. So just get 1 sleeve. I know it does come in the sample pack. So if you do have a sample pack, give it a try. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to buy it. But this one tends to be very popular. If you do have the original line, Chiaro, I know I say Chiaro, I know how to pronounce it. I just like how it sounds better, Chiaro. But Chiaro is the dupe to Bianco Leggero. It has the same aromatic notes, kind of like the same profile. And this one is from the barista collections that you combine with milk. So if you do have the original line, if you do kind of have like a similar machine to mine or whatever machine, Chiaro is one that you would get to kind of get the dupe. Moving on to a medium roast pod is this one. This one is called La Cumplida Refinada, and this one is from Nicaragua, I believe. This one is really, really good. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I actually made a video reviewing this one, and I made it over ice in that video. But just briefly, it's a medium roast coffee, intensity level 5, and the aromatic profile for this one is fruity and candied. The aromatic notes are candied cherry and pomegranate. So this one is really good. In that review video, I actually combined it with a syrup from Tarani called creme de cacao. So delicious, kind of like having strawberries with chocolate. It's like really, really good. Surprisingly good. So this one brews nicely over ice and it keeps its intensity, in my opinion. For the original line users, this one also comes in original line form, and to me it does taste the same. I don't feel like there's any difference. This pod is actually $12, not $10 like the other ones that we just talked about. So yeah, this one's a little bit more expensive and it's limited edition, so we don't know how long it's gonna stay in the website, but it's a really nice one. As long as it's in stock, I feel like I'm gonna always buy it because it tastes really good over ice. Another pod within the medium roast realm is Double Espresso Chiaro. This one is a level intensity 6. Its aromatic profiles are dense and wild. Its aromatic notes are woody and roasted. This one is so yummy. It doesn't lose its flavor over ice. I feel like it stays the same. And you can pair it with pretty much any syrup, in my opinion. I've tried it, again, with caramel. I've tried it with hazelnut. I've tried it with French vanilla. Tried it with a lot of syrups, and it's really, really, really good. Some even said that they've tried it with the Starbucks recipe, the brown sugar shaken espresso. In my video, I used the blonde roast from the Starbucks pods, but a few of you guys have said that this one is made for that recipe. So I haven't tried it that way, but I can see it working. So if you guys want to try that recipe, but using the Double Espresso Chiaro, I think you guys would enjoy it. So yeah, that's another one. This one is $11 for the sleeve. And then, so if you guys have the original line, I don't have it with me. I did order it, I believe, and I'm just waiting for it to get here. If you do have the original line, Scuro would be the pod that would be the dupe for Double Espresso Chiaro. So Scuro, and I believe that one is also $7, whereas the sleeve for the Vertuo line is $11. Next pod is very, very similar to Chiaro, but this one is Scuro, which you would think that this one would be the dupe for Scuro in the original line, but it's not. I'll get to that. This one is Double Espresso Scuro. It's $10, so $1 cheaper than Chiaro. It's a medium roast, level intensity 8, so it's a little bit stronger tasting. And then its aromatic profiles are dark and bold, aromatic notes, intense roasted cocoa. So this one actually caught me by surprise. I tend to stay away from like strong tasting coffee or lattes, but this one was really good. I actually mixed the almond milk with a little bit of creamer, and I feel like the creamer actually helped it just taste a little bit creamier and not that strong. I have to try it on its own without creamer and see if I like it that way. But for now, I have been drinking it with almond milk and a dash of creamer, and I feel like that's really good. And I don't really add any syrup after that because the creamer already has sugar. So yeah, but if you like strong coffee and don't mind a strong tasting latte, then you don't even have to mix the creamer. I think you'll like it on its own. But yeah, this one actually is really good over ice. If you have the original line, you would have to get Corto, and I believe that one's $7 as well. If it's not, I'll correct myself on the screen, but Corto is the equivalent to Scuro. Last but not least is Arondio. Arondio is a Gran Lungo pod. It's still an espresso shot, but it's brewed longer, so it has a little bit more water as it's brewed. So Arondio is a level intensity 6, and it's a medium roast. Its aromatic profiles are cereal and mild, and its notes are cereal and caramel. This one is so good. The sleeve is $10, and I love this one with caramel syrup. Like, I just love this one. I feel like it's really creamy with milk. It doesn't lose its taste. I feel like it's really good over ice. It's just a really nice pod, and even hot in the mornings, I like brewing this one, and it's really good. This one brews 5.7 ounces, but I still find myself using the same amount of milk for this one. So I thought I'd mention it. I know a lot of people are kind of confused with like what a lungo is. It's just an espresso shot brewed longer. So it's essentially like a long shot, but it's a really nice pod to have over ice. If you do have the original line, you would get Genova Livanto. It's the same round and balanced caramel and cereal, and that one is $7. I wanted to brew one for today, so let's make, actually, you know what? Let's try the Scuro without creamer and see how I like it. So let's brew this one. Okay, here it is. I'm just gonna mix everything in. It looks creamy. So it's a little strong, so I definitely feel like the creamer helps to cut that like bitterness almost. So I think I'll still continue drinking it with creamer because I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it can grow on me. It's not like a level 10, so I think I can get used to this, but I just like how it tasted with the creamer. So in the other video, I mixed it with almond milk and then a little bit of creamer, and that's how I drank Scuro, and I loved it that way. So if you like double espresso Chiaro, were a little curious about Scuro and have similar taste to mine, then maybe you'll like it with a dash of creamer instead of all the milk. So yeah. But hey, if you like strong coffee, that might be your pod for iced coffee because it's actually really good. I feel like it doesn't lose its strength. Obviously, I can feel the strength in there. It's yummy overall either way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!